It's okay. She off your mind. Like this.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don't off mic. And if we talk, now 500,000 they go summer us, call them hate speech. But fear not, Maiyegun don't come. He go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Can in the touchlight every corner, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Nah. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Sure. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. Still them talk say make we off mind. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun diary Politico, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. This one not they off in mind, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he they hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Woman picking they the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Maiyegun don't come. Maiyegun la wa mo la mo do.
No there.
Maiyegun la wa mo la mo do.
Good evening to you, good morning to you, good afternoon to you from wherever you are watching from. This is Maiyegun live. Thank you for joining me.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Maiyegun máa wí.
Thank you so much for joining me. Share the broadcast. Invite your friends. Invite not so friendly friends of yours. Tell them that Maiyegun today. Now that I have your attention, I want to tell you from the beginning, this broadcast is not to bash or attack Ooni of Ife. We're going to respect. That's true. But we're going to ask questions. And as they say, Ọmọdégbọ́n, àgbàgbọ́n, òun la fi dá Ile Ife. Ooni spoke, we will speak, and we will deliberate. Then, maybe, just maybe, this will also help many of you to understand the gravity of what is on ground, and playing political correctness towards this is never in anybody's interest. Share the video. Tell them. Thank you.
àní ẹ̀sùn láì. Presido bá wí sí o, àní ẹ̀sùn láì.
Thank you very much. Ooni of Ife, in his latest interview granted to the BBC Yoruba, where he spoke a lot about the unity of Nigeria, his meetings with Buhari inside Asshole Rock. At the same time, the warning that Buhari told him to deliver to Oloye Sunday Igboho. And he said he delivered the message, but Igboho insulted the monarchs he sent to them. And he's been forgiven. And they are doing everything to get his freedom from Benin Republic. That is what Ooni said. And we want to talk about that today. What did Ooni tell Buhari? I mean, when Buhari said, I want you to go and warn that boy that is going after those terrorists, killing and kidnapping people in the Gongo and every other area, in Oyo State and around, across the southwest Nigeria. So what did Ooni Ogunwusi or Jaja II, what was his own response when Buhari was sending him to go and warn Igboho? I think we should talk about it.
I
know. See, don't let me pretend that you all didn't notice or you haven't noticed that I have decided to just cut everything off, yeah? Sure. Let me do you that honor. I decided to, just to see what it looked like. I've always been like clean shave and all of that, but I kind of missed that. Then I walked in today and my son was looking at me like, who is this person? Like that kind of strange look, shock. And I think that's exactly what it is for you too. Ha, Maiyegun, is that you? It is Maiyegun. And guess what? Share the video. We are about to start.
ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran òun. Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Maiyegun ti dé.
Mind you, tonight we are also going to touch on other topics. That is why I said we are not here to bash Ooni. We are not here to attack Ooni, or we are not even here to abuse anybody as much as they will say probably later. But we just want to ask questions. The Fulani terrorist invasion of Yoruba land has been in existence before Buhari came to power. But they have never, ever got to the level where we have to beg for our lives. Every time they made move, they are crushed. To the point that sometimes in year 2000, Buhari had to travel from Daura down to Agodi in Ibadan to go and see the then governor, late Lamadeshino. And when he met with the governor, the only question Buhari asked the governor was, why are your people killing my people? Your people are trespassing, kidnapping, destroying lives, and the locals are never going to keep up with that. The government arrested some of them, and Buhari had to come in to say, you need to release them. Your people are killing my people, and you are still arresting them too. But that never happened because Buhari didn't have any influence to make any changes in Yoruba land like he does now. So Buhari and those who are supposed to be Yoruba Obas, let us start from the insecurity level at different communities that some of these, our Obas, our royal fathers, our traditional rulers, currently somehow enjoys their kingships over. When you talk about attacks, people becoming victims. We have instances, and we have evidences of places where this thing happened. But what we didn't do was to let you know who is the king, or who is the king here, or whatever, traditional ruler, wherever he there. So that when we begin to account for all the attacks, when we begin to list the attacks, we begin to attach the Obas that are around there, right? Then that would then bring us to the point where we say, okay, Ooni of Ife, you happen to be one of those classed as first-class Obas in Yoruba land, from Yoruba land. This insecurity, which everybody knows, right, or most pretend about, as Ooni, who have access to such information from your contemporaries and some other Obas in Yoruba land, yeah, you have been constrained and boxed under the local government rule that doesn't give you any real influence other than the flamboyancy, the what do you call it, the paparazzi that comes with it, that some of you really enjoys now. And the only way to fund that paparazzi lifestyle is to what? Is to kowtow to the center, which is the advantage Buhari has over you. Back to the question. The insecurity in Yoruba land, or Ooni of Ife, and the other first-class Obas in Yoruba land, they have had repeated chances with Buhari. What did they tell him about the insecurity before Sunday Igboho emerged? And with the emergence of Sunday Igboho, the royal fathers who have been boxed to the corner, they have no say, they have no authority, they have no nothing. We're just all pretending. All of us were just pretending. You cannot insult our royal father. Royal father of this place. In Nigeria setting, your royal fathers are just stooges. The leftover of what I'll call old oligarchy, old hegemony that is entrenched. Well, that's what you call the traditional institution. So they know that they have boxed them to the corner, irrelevant, inconsequential, except when the politician says, oh yeah, you are consequential because of your history. Now, Ooni of Ife knows that if he was in the day of the old, yeah, Ooni of Ife would be inside the groove in the shrine, praying for the delegated warriors that will go after the Fulani invaders of Yoruba land. Normally, Ooni of Ife will not go, or no Yoruba Oba will then go and meet somebody from Daura and go there and listen to him, have no liver of talking about the insecurity is people, their people are suffering. And then they come back with warning. The warning that you should slow down. That's what Ooni said. Ooni said he advised Oloye Sunday Igboho to calm down first, to relax, to not do anything. Just don't do anything. Just relax. We are doing something about it. We are working on it. I have met with the president and he said he's doing something on it, okay? So you know what? Just don't do anything. Leave the whole thing. That's the advice Ooni gave to Oloye Sunday Igboho. Because if you have to ask me, what was Igboho's offense for asking the Yorubas to stand up, come together, and defend Yoruba land as those who are supposed to stand up for us? Many of them have been compromised. So many of them don't even really have any power, except the fake, the fluke power of you better don't dare Ooni, don't dare Alaafin, don't dare this person, don't dare that person. But in real life, these guys have no any real influence. The only influence they have is the influence of accessing that center to promote whatever is their own personal agenda, while what make them who they are the people that made them who they are become secondary. So when Ooni and some of these royal fathers met with Buhari, I hope they had a chat about the kidnappings, the killings, the ransacking of villages, the destructions of farms and all that. And what was Buhari's response? If I was, presently if I'm in a hall and we have all the Yorubas, sons and daughters seated, and Ooni of Ife is sitting there, and other royal fathers are there, this is what I'm going to say to them directly. You know you have no real power. If it was the day of the hold, all of you, the Yoruba Obas, when you were pretty much really in control, you would have mobilized the young, the strong, and the powerful within your kingdoms to volunteer as the army of the Yoruba to defend Yoruba land. That's what you would do. You won't go over anywhere to go and listen to somebody that's going to tell you to go and warn your children. What they are trying to do to stop the Fulani terrorists is bigger than them, is bigger than all of you. Go and warn him. And Ooni said he came back and he sent Obas. He didn't name all the Obas he sent to Oloye Sunday Igboho. He sent Obas to go and warn Igboho and tell him that they are doing something about the insecurity. And they are doing something about Yoruba, especially now that he or Ooni of Ife is involved. They are doing something. But again, like I said, this is not a broadcast targeted at undermining him, or let me say undermining that stool. But you see that man that is currently the Ooni of Ife, Ooni Ogunwusi. This is what we found. You and many others, you have completely misled the Yoruba race under your watch. And you don't even know anything about that yet. Or probably you have no idea what damages you are doing. Normally, when people come under attack from different terrorists or any external or internal attacks, they look up to their leaders. The people closer to them most are most of you the traditional rulers. But over time, that institution has been bastardized, destroyed, politicized, and completely lost all its real value. And this is why you see political obas pleading one Nigeria, unity begging, not bold enough to speak up and say, our people are going through hell. And this is time for us to stop pretending. Elections and all this nonsense are not going to be our own solution. It's never going to resolve anything. If we all pretend that the Fulanis are not killing the Yorubas, if we all pretend that Yorubas who are victims of these kidnappings and killings are not supposed, or they don't have the right to be alive simply because we choose not to mind. So when you see the royal fathers who continue to come back to beg for unity in the face of a chronic economic destruction, chronic unemployment, and the latest insecurity, and they met with the person whose only job was to provide security for everyone, and they had this wonderful chat, wonderful conversation, and what Ooni of Ife brought back, one of them was to go and warn somebody who is going after the terrorists, rather than for them to protect him. They choose not to. And he said, Igboho insulted them. And I think that was the link to when they gave the clearance that we have spoken to him. It doesn't seem like he's going to listen to us. Buhari, you can deal with him as you want. And deal with him is where exactly what happened. what happened? They decided to assassinate Igboho. So how can we miss that from what Ooni shared today? He said something. He said, he's forgiven him. They told him to calm down. They told him to relax. Whatever all those, whatever that even mean, right? In my own book, what I believe was that after Ooni of Ife met with Buhari, who is the sponsor of the same terrorist, terrorizing the lives and properties of the people of Oyo, people of Osun, people of Ondo, people of Ogun, people of Ekiti, and including people of Lagos, at different scale. And when Ooni met with Buhari, he only brought back a warning. And since Oloye Sunday Igboho didn't listen to that warning to stop, they decided to kill him. And it wasn't just Ooni that told him to stop. There were many, many of them in that Yoruba political class too. You need to stop. We are talking to Buhari. The plan that Buhari has for you is really bad. Buhari is ready to kill anybody. He doesn't care. So we are just trying to see if we can just manage and manage and manage when Buhari will leave. So we can then do all of these things. That is what they are saying to Igboho. But to Buhari, don't worry. Give us money. We will talk to him. So when they couldn't deliver, they decided to deliver him to be killed. And to whose gain? What could that Kompromat be? Because I'm beginning to ask myself. We know that those who claim to be Yoruba political class, political leaders, religious, and every other position they claim to have, yeah, we know so many of them. The Fulani Terrorist government of Nigeria has Kompromat on them. And when I say Kompromat, you see all our royal fathers in Yoruba land, not just Yoruba land, but I just want to focus more on Yoruba land now before I move to another place. We have a serious economic downturn caused by a jihadi retired old megad who have no clue about anything economy or nation building. That has brought untoward hardship and abject poverty to our people. And they didn't stop there. They also unleashed what I call economic jihad. When Fulani terrorists goes onto people's farms, when Fulani terrorists stops people from going to farms, when they stop you from going about your normal business, when your roads are now like a kidnapper's trap, that you are no longer safe, it will affect your economy. It will affect your it will affect your productivity. It will affect your economy. And in return, it will increase poverty. It will increase crime. All these are happening in Yoruba land. Because we are part of Nigeria, as the economy of Nigeria continues to nosedive, we are part of that. We are sharing part of the whole calamity. Then we have a caliber of people who have presenting themselves as our representatives from different angles. They had the opportunity of at least addressing these things, speaking up genuinely. But guess what? Many of them are not. And this is why. Kompromat on them starts from, look at their formation, look at their existence, then look at their survivor, and then touch all these links together, and you will see who is holding the string. You will realize that it is he who controls Nigeria. And as always, they control Nigeria. There's nothing you can do to change anything, except if you push genuinely to break away from the whole thing. No negotiation, no deal, no agreement. No agreement today, no agreement tomorrow. But when you look at the structure generally, let's start from each state. When you look at states, the state depends on the center. Meanwhile, the center exists by stealing from the states. And when we say stealing from the states, It means only productive area. The only productive region in Nigeria is the southern Nigeria, economically. Now, Nigeria exists by stealing from the richest part to feed the poorest part, and then everybody just remain poor. So then every component that called itself state depends on whatever that center can then give back to them. And that is what everybody lives on, including local government, including your royal father, including your traditional rulers, or whatever, first class or no first class. That's what they live on, the crumbs that comes back. Since the giant whale, or let me say the second giant whale, the states, politicians, they take the giant share and they release the crumb to the local government. This crumb left for the local government is what is meant to take care of your first class oba. In your own tradition, in your history, they will tell you about the great exploit of the Oonis. They will tell you the great exploit of Alaafins. They will tell you how great warriors and the exploits and the achievements of the Olubadons and so many other like that. Oh, Ataoja for Shogbos, the Shawon for Ogbomoshos, the this and that. You know what I'm talking about? The old glory. But in reality, they don't actually exist. Because all of them are now considered as staff and civil servants of local government areas in Nigeria. Even the colonial masters, they respected Yorubas and their traditionals too. As much as they desecrated many, they actually regarded them and respected them in the scheme of things way back than your current politicians who are actually from your clan, who are Yorubas, Hausas, Igbos, they are from everywhere. They know your tradition, but they enjoy it because they put that your tradition at the wrong of it all. Now, subjecting those who are going to now man those tools, their survivor is now attached to how good they are to either Wales, the states, or the federal. So when they call themselves the first-class obas, paramount ruler, Ooni of Ife, Obarin Lemi, all those things they do, they are the karamos that comes with where is your bread is buttered. And I'm being honest here. And that is why when we come to reality and say we shouldn't expect much from them, but we can ask them questions, because sometimes maybe if we ask them real questions, they can think and remember where they are coming from and remember the kind of legacies left by those before them, those who came hundreds, 200, 300, 400, 1,000 years ago before them, and why people revered them, and they were still according this present one the same respect they gave to those ones who actually really added value. I mean, historically, they fought. All the land you see today, where you are seeing kings in Yoruba land, people fought. They fought centuries ago. They killed people. They took over. They asserted their authority. That is why centuries later, you can say Oba of Benin, Oba of Ye, but back. What I'm trying to say here is this. The present, those who present themselves as royal fathers. My friend, you better be careful. You better be careful of what you say about Ooni of Ife. You better be careful of what you say of Alaafin for your. We are talking about powerful people. And calm down, bros. Calm down. I understand. They were supposed to be powerful. And that power actually comes from what their exploit, their defense of their own people. That's where the power comes from. The power didn't come from validation from any federal government or Durera government or feudalist government anywhere. No. These were people historically who fought and defended their people. They died defending the land. But you see those ones who are there today, they are local government staff. Do you know that? To some of you, that is insulting. But it is not insulting to you that those who are parading themselves as your governors, they maintain that status quo. So the likes of Ooni, the likes of Alaafin, the likes of Awujale, the likes of Alake, the likes of Atauja, Shong, all those big Obas, their level of begging to survive is mostly linked to who they know at the federal government. But they don't come without a price. Part of the price is this. They now make Yorubas board members, federal board members, parastatals, agencies, and all of that. Have you ever asked yourself why? It is because that is how their bread are buttered. That is what makes them to drive new Prado Jeep. That is what makes them to fly first class. Because they just need to be on a payroll. Somewhere that they will get paid indirectly. That is why your Obas, paramount rulers, they become contract chasers in Abuja. They are civil servants. They know them very well at the ministries, agencies, everywhere. When they see, they say, that man don't come again. This is here again. He's pursuing one project in Bayelsa. You will be seeing Yoruba Oba chasing contracts in the creek in Bayelsa because he's trying to push it in Abuja. So when he comes out and they put the camera before him and they turn on the microphone, how was your meeting with the Mr. President today? Oh, it was a very successful meeting. We are working so tirelessly. We have to thank Mr. President for everything he's done for this country. You okay? Mr. President spoke to us. He was very sad about what happened to our people in Ogongon because people get killed. But Mr. President promised us that they are sending the blah, 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 blah. Oh, no lie. So a month, 2 months, 3 months, no police, no arrest, nobody's prosecuted, nothing happened. And you'll be like, shame would they take these people serious now again? We could now, are we not going to start offending the deities now? Are we not going to start offending the gods? If we start asking, sir, you told us when you met with the president, the reason why nothing happened is because they never talk about you. No, they never talk about you. Most of the time, the only ticket they have for accessing those people there. See, I don't know if you are following what I've been telling you. I've given you this step by step of how some of our traditional rulers arrive at where they are today and why asking them questions to let them know that we are not stupid. The old trick of people believing what you say because they believe that you can't be that heartless to go into a place and agree with somebody who sent people to go and kill your son for trying to stop invaders. You get what I mean now? So we are not stupid. That's how they got there. They need to survive. They need to continue to fly first class. They need to sleep in the presidential suite when they go anywhere. They need to, and all the money for all of that. It's not coming from anywhere other than patronage. They call it patronage. They patronize who is in power. They become friends of the people in power. So how does that feel when you tell Buhari that they killed 20 people in a Gongon overnight, Fulani terrorists, and then you come back, you say, Mr. President said, and 6 months down the line, we have not seen those who committed that crime in a Gongon. In fact, they have committed more. So who goes into a place and say, go and warn your son? If not because they will also grease your palm. Kabiesi, although some of you, they call part of the job. But that was not how our forefathers, that is not what we read. And the history we were told about those who became kings. And they ruled over kingdoms. Those who came before you. So that's what I see. What did Ooni tell Buhari about the crime being committed within his area? What did Ooni tell Buhari about the 1,748 illegal Fulani terrorist cells across Yoruba land. And what does that even mean when Ooni said they are working to release Oloye Sunday Igboho? Working, begging Buhari, or what are you doing? Begging him since he told you to warn him, and since he didn't listen to you, and since you met with Buhari, how far with the security of lives and properties of our people in Yoruba land? The last time I checked, the Fulani terrorists now have bomb to break into prisons in Yoruba land. That's still happening in Oyo State, where Oloye Sunday Igboho comes from. Do you really think if the likes of our royal fathers in Yoruba land for a minute decides to actually back Igboho, do you really think by now the Fulani terrorists in Yoruba land will still have the audacity, the confidence to carry out all these attacks in Yoruba land? I mean, I'm just asking. One of the governors in Yoruba land, who happened to be the one that seemed to be sounding kind of reasonable, but he's a politician, and we know the game better. Akeredolu of Ondo, he's been threatened. They have killed Amotekun there. They have killed the people, and they have told him that for him to go out and say they are banning open grazing, he has declared war, and they will give them war. In Yoruba land, that is happening right now. But Akeredolu explains something. I will be back.
Those of us who have put in place anti-open grazing laws, we have our reasons for doing it. And we have no apologies whatsoever. Now, it will make clear, even here from what my brother has said, grazing routes. Grazing route to where? From where to where? It's not going to work. And it's not working. Yes, maybe this route, there are things you have in the past. Don't let us imagine it now. We have said here now that even Abuja itself, as my brother has put it, is a stop. So, and even the Aso Rock. Can anybody wake up one day and say, we will now take cows to Aso Rock to feed? We have passed that stage. Time changes, and we all must be prepared to change with time. Things have passed. What I'm trying to get at is this. No, you see, when you talk about grazing, in which all of us, there's this symbiotic work or between farmers and others, all of you live together in peace. It's always been that. That time, the others will go only with their sanda. I don't know, I think that's what they call it in national language. That won't stick. So when you now have to have your ads and you need AK-47 to move with them, that is no longer grazing. It's something else. It's an assault. And even the weapon itself shows us that you want to assault some people. Okay. And that's why we said we must work. Okay. And as this anti-open grazing, we are going to ban open grazing. Okay. And I think we are doing it effectively in Ondo State.
Thank you. Thank you very much. We understand the
That was El Fire, Kaduna Littlefinger. They were in a conference. I decided to share that video with you, right? To explain why and the action being taken. Something that had to be done when Oloye Sunday Igboho and the rest of the Yorubas who believed that we needed to do something were acting on it. And the person they call the leader of Fulani in the Gogon, Saliu, they call his name Saliu, is the Seriki Fulani. He was chased out of that place in order to make sure that the congregation of these Fulani terrorists in that axis is completely dismantled. His son is now leading a new terrorist group that has been terrorizing the axis since then. OPC, they went after Wakili, after they have heard about Wakili. And they got Wakili, handed him over to the police, handed him over to government. The same prison that they locked Wakili in is the same prison they have told us Abolongo is the same prison now. We are suspecting that the same prison they broke into, and it's been 48 hours or 72 hours, if not more, since they broke into that prison. And we have been expecting the government of Oyo State to tell us, is Wakili part of those they broke out of that prison? They have not told us. And we are still waiting. Right? So from January to October, are you with me? It was the action of Oloye Sunday Igboho that prompted the state governors to say, finally, we have to do this, or else this is going to get out of hand. This is already out of hand. We need to do something. And the moment they did that, El Rufaya and co, they said they were joking. And people have told me too. They said, Maiyegun, don't ever join them to promote any restructuring nonsense. So, because if they do regionalism, you are still part of Nigeria. If they do restructuring, you are still part of Nigeria. And there is no way you can say you are going to have peace if you are going to make some laws and say some Nigerians cannot pass anywhere, because they are still Nigerians. Yes, they doing what they are, moving their cows as usual as they use, right? You may call it violation of your right, but when you take it to the federal court, they will be free because they are Nigerians. Say, Maiyegun, don't join them, please, Maiyegun, stay on the course. We will break Nigeria peacefully. That's it. People need to know there is no other option. But there will be journey to that place, which is true. And I believe. Akeredolu said, we have banned open grazing, and possibly they have kissed their 2023 goodbye. But the point here is this. Sunday Igboho does not need any royal father in Yoruba land forgiveness. Let us be very clear about that. Ooni of Ife and many other Yoruba, including Alaafin of Oyo, they have all come out to speak in support of one Nigeria. And they have given their reasons, which I respect. But it's so unfortunate that in the place of that one Nigeria, they are ready to bury Yoruba's interest by being politically correct with the interest that concerns the Yorubas. Even if speaking up will not kill them, the most that speaking the truth and saying it outright, the only thing that it will take away from them is the luxury, the free money that they get, the contract, the connection their children enjoys in the system, within the system. That's the only thing I think they are going to lose. But what is it that Nigeria is offering them today? That if they fight for the Yoruba interest and Yoruba Obas are no longer local government staff, given their real place in Yoruba, according to our history and our culture and our tradition, give them the real place. There's nothing Nigeria will take away from them that they can't get back in tenfold, with respect as well. If they say the right thing about Yoruba people, defend us. I don't think that's too much. But if you have seen many of them, we are grateful to those who have come out boldly to defend Oloye Sunday Igboho, to speak in the interest of the Yoruba nation. You are the real most valuable people, the traditional rulers who have spoken out, because we cannot just use one brush to paint everybody. But you see these prominent ones, there are things Yoruba's interest can be secondary. But we have another shocker for them. When this whole thing comes consuming people, they will also be part of those to be consumed. And their own history is what the Fulani terrorists are trying to change and destroy. That history that make them the kings they are, or put them in the vantage position they have found themselves. That history is the history that the Fulani terrorists are trying to alter. And they are using everything to do it. by using Kompromat on every person that could possibly say something. When your royal father is a contractor, can he actually condemn Boko Haram? Do you really think that, because speaking the truth, speaking about what the Yoruba's interest should be, let me give you the idea. If I am in a room, and you're asking me a question, Maiyegun, let us just, for the educational reason, educational purposes now, right? Tell us, what should be the Yoruba interest? In a simple form, in a simple statement, just tell us. So that maybe some of us actually misunderstood what should be the Yoruba interest. Maybe that is why many of us are not really so keen into the Yoruba nation agitation. Maybe that is why some of us feel detached, because everything we believe so much, I mean, so many people are promoting as Yoruba interest are mostly personal interest of themselves that they are trying to project on the rest of us. So because of that, we feel like, no, we can't be part of that. So you, Maiyegun, tell us, what should be the Yoruba interest that you think can actually bring all of us to say, well, with this, that's fair enough. This is worth fighting for. In my own terms, remember, I be layman, I don't be professor. Our common interest should be one, protection of our language. Protection of our language, which is our only unifying factor of either whether we want to progress or during conflict resolution, how we are going to govern ourselves and every other thing that will come later. That language, right? And then second thing is the fact that we were supposed to be a successful country, successfully managed country, not without mistakes. We're never going to be without mistakes. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to build on them, right? Our interest should be, as Nigeria is today, right? The interest of the Yorubas should be, what and how are we going to safeguard the future of the generation that are going to exist 10 years, 20 years, 50 years after you and I are gone? And when you look at the present situation of Nigeria, right, the foundation they said is 40 is not even there. Our interest is very simple. Let Yorubas have the capacity to manage our own affairs, right from the word go to wherever we want to take ourselves, right? Let the Yorubas have that capacity without any external influence. And that decision comes from how are we going to govern ourselves. Now, this external interest can, when it's no longer there, Yorubas can actually build together. We can decide how we want to build the future of the children that are going to survive us, or let me say succeed us, right? We can begin to put plan in place by knowing who are those who are actually living in Yoruba land. When you have an idea of people living in your country, you have the better templates of how to plan for them. Whether they all have to work too hard and very hard, or whether they all have to work too smart and very smart and build a modern country that they want to live in without any external factor. And I love the idea. I actually love the idea of people managing their own affairs, starting with the human resources we have. We have them in abundance. Do you know that if we have a chance of having a parliament, I mean, as Yoruba people, right now, where we have the understanding of the resources from every part of Yoruba land, human and natural, and we have one parliament where we can discuss power problem in Osun, rail problem in Ondo, road problem and healthcare problem in Lagos. Oh, this problem in Ogun, that problem there. And everybody comes together and say, right, how much do we have and how do we go about this? Discussing your own affairs and be able to, like, no external affair, no consideration for what are they going to think out there. I mean, what are those other there would think? Managing your affair, being in control, being responsible, without any external affair should be a primary cause for why a Yoruba nation should be your own, it should be your own agenda. I mean, there's so much in taking back control. Some said, but when you take back control, who are those who are going to lead? Do you even understand taking back control? Taking back control means the likes of all the traditional rulers, all these gobbles commentators who call themselves our representatives, our spokesperson, and this and that. You are taking back control from them. When you take that back, they will no longer exist in that your new world. Because the reason why they exist today is that they are holding forth for those who want to keep Nigeria one. And keeping Nigeria one is why we are going to continue to live in poverty. We are going to continue to live in underdevelopment. We are going to continue to live in corruption. You are going to continue to live in a rigged system that actually puts so much roadblock ahead of you, rigged you out of every opportunity, all right, just even before you were born. Now, if you take back control, you can decide how this is going to go forward. That may sound too kind of pedestrian, so simple, Maiyegun. It is that simple, my brothers and sisters. The only difficult thing is that so many of you have never, ever, or well, so many of us have never lived or witnessed it, as if to say it never happened before. We were once in control, not fully, but partially, with limited external control when we were having self-governance. And the record we achieved under that short period of self-governance in Yoruba land, that short period, the legacy of that short period, is the reason why some of you are still reading about Awolowo, is the reason why so many of you are still reading about the exploits and the achievement of the action groups in Yoruba land. Very short a period, and it was short-lived because those who were supposed to be the defenders of such legacy, they got greedy, they got comfortable, and they became unity beggars. Since they are survivors, their feeding bottles are now in the hands of somebody else who robbed them, right, to pay others, robbing Peter to pay Paul, on and on and on. We've had it before. That's the point I'm making. We've once been in control. We could have built a lot over the years. We could have been an independent country by now. You wouldn't have doubted anything I've said to you so far. You wouldn't have think or probably believe this is impossible, Maiyegun. This is just a fairy tale because you've never lived it. You've never experienced it. And they have watered it down so much with the unity begging, one Nigeria that nobody can really define. You've never experienced it. I'll tell you, it is worth giving a shot again. It is. And that is why the likes of Ooni of Ife and every royal father that comes out to speak on the Yoruba nation, and when they speak and they tell you that you have no respect, they know better, blah, 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 blah. Just remember what I told you tonight. They are not speaking from the point of intelligence. They are not speaking from the point of logic. They are not speaking from the point of history or tradition. They are speaking from a very known point of their bellies, because those who control their bellies control what they say. But it's always good to remind them. Before the advent of political obas in Yoruba land, we actually used to hold the traditions with so much regard and then respect. But the likes who have now been programmed to become stooges, to become lackeys, to become spies, to become killers for murderers who wish us no well. They have done so much damages, but we have none of them bold enough to call their bluff and say Yorubas deserve better. I mean, just say it. You won't die. But when they don't, and they're beginning to talk about unity begging, you as a Yoruba person, you are being misled. The reason why you are being misled is because you think they are saying it because they love you. They are saying it because they know better. They are saying it because they wish you well. They are saying it because they have to say it. That is how they get fed. That is how they are able to marry more wives. That is how they are able to buy properties everywhere. They are staff of local governments according to your Nigerian constitution. Your Obas, your paramount ruler, all of them, they are local government staff. Ordinary local government chairman can kick them out anytime. Somebody said, no, Maiyegun, stop that. They can't try that with Oba of Benin. I like the fact that some of you love to live in that world. Enjoy it. Okay? Just enjoy it. I respect Oba of Benin so much. He's one of those who hasn't really, you know what I mean? The person holding the position right now, he hasn't really come out to dabble into all these conversations, like in any negative way. But if they say he offends them tomorrow, now local government chairman go sign his removal, and you can come out and protest. Or, oh, yeah, they will kill the story. You have no idea. But the point I'm trying to make here is this. When they come out and they say these things, let's remind them that they are not doing it for you. They are doing it because of where their bread is being buttered. How much is local government allocation? How much do you think goes to local government every month? How much do you think will pay for Alaafin of Oyo and his wife when they go on a trip? How much do you think Oyo local government, Atiba local government in Oyo State, how much do you think they pay to buy to buy a first class ticket for Alaafin of Oyo when he travels? How much do you think it costs them to pay for hotel of Ooni of Ife when it goes to Abuja, the Ife local government area? But of course, you know what I'm talking about. So at the same time, what turns our own royal fathers to contractors in Abuja, contractors and spokesperson for Nigeria, is enough for you to know that they are not speaking for us. They will speak like the people who have idea, people who love us, people who have seen it all, but do not be deceived. Once they begin to talk and they begin to tell you that Nigeria should not break, Nigeria should not be this, what they are trying to do there is that don't break away our feeding bottle. All of you, shut up. You these small boys. Waiting you want me Baba the shop. If all of you say you won't break up, how much waiting you go to pay, but waiting you go to give Baba to chop. But we are telling you that Baba, we can feed you. We can take care of you. You are a king. You should be king. And being kings means that Somi is what they say Somi, Lamang Bonli Oba. That is, help me. Make a drop this thing. Those are the kind of things you hear when you go to palace. But nobody goes to the palace and say, help me make a leave this thing. Because people go to the palace, they take care of the kings. They take care of the king's award because you are the king. And that is the tradition. We are not supposed to be fighting over private jets, how all of you are going to become private jet owners because Fulani terrorists who are looting and stealing from you. Even right there in Ife, where you have the Chinese drilling gold in Ife, or Ooni of Ife cannot raise it up with Buhari, where you have the Fulanis drilling gold like Zamfara. They are drilling gold in Osun State, or Ooni of Ife couldn't pick that up with Buhari because why? You know why? Laya Muhammad came out and he said, but before I even share that, I want to hear the other part of Akeredolu again. Laya Muhammad said the reason why they are banning social media in Nigeria is because they are trying to stop World War III. Because the way the whole thing is going, it be like say, now social media go cause World War III in Layamo's world. But let me listen to Akeredolu the second time, where he was dishing this to El Rufaya on open grazing.
Discussion about whether you are banning a culture or not. Pastoral nomadism is not a new thing. the culture we are referring to here today never resided only in Africa. There were nomadic farmers all over the world. And it's not taking them this time you want to give us to end it. The moment we are determined that what is good for these Fulani herdsmen is for them to be sedentary and work at it, the earlier we do it, the better for them. We should not look. Many of us here. I today I'm not. I don't have any ads, but I know of people high ranking who have ranches in Nigeria today. High ranking, they can showcase their cows, but those cows are resident. They don't move. Those cows are in a farm. So why are you pushing these poor people out? Even the vagaries of life that they face, whether it's snake bite, whether it's attack on the road, their children not going to school, why are you pushing it and saying it's a culture? It's a culture that must be discouraged in the interest of those who are involved. And that's my own position. And the earlier we start, the better. Let cow, let beef, let it eat the rooftop. It will come down. Let it eat the rooftop. It will come down. Because if today, because of we want to eat beef, so people will be killing themselves, and it's because we don't want to ban the culture. People are killing themselves. We have laws. Mr. President has said it. Anybody with AK-47 should be arrested. How many have been arrested? And they are still carrying it. It is no longer issue of your cattle. You are moving pastoral nomad. You are a nomadic pastor man. It's not the issue again. It's that let us be fair to ourselves.
Okay.
I have always said something. Sorry, 1 minute.
Go ahead.
That cattle rearers, they only will find time to be involved in crime as kidnap for ransom because they are busy with their heads. But you know that most of them, they sell this and don't return money. They don't want to go back to the owners of the cattle. Then they now get involved in crime. The earlier the owners find a farm to settle their cattle and not send these poor men on the road and say it's a culture, the better for all of us. That's where we stand.
Thank you, Jare Akeredolu. Do you know that a bad clock, if you have a bad clock or a clock that is no longer working, can be very, very right twice a day? Do you know that? I know I'm not talking to dumbs, but you get what I mean. When the likes of Akeredolu come to their senses and they say something, we keep it on record because they are useful. Somebody said, Maiyegun, are you surprised that Yoruba political Obas are going to Abuja and they are coming back to come and warn us for asking for Yoruba nation self-determination, for asking to protect ourselves? Are you surprised, Maiyegun? No be Yoruba Obas sold people to slavery. No be them, they go about, they capture people, they set them off because they wanted to collect a tea mug. They wanted to collect a mirror. They exchange human being for comb. They exchange human being for cup. They exchange human being for... I know. I cuckoo know. I'm just saying that let's remember the good side of our history. The good side. Where some of them, before they started selling us as slaves to Oyinbo and the rest, they actually fought to claim those kingdoms. And some of them easily too, they fought against slave catchers. There are some communities in Yoruba land who fought war because a particular community is known as a place where once you are kidnapped, your family member will be in that community because they are going to sell them off as slaves. Some communities are waging war, that's how we were. And I actually want us to just remember the good side of our history that makes these traditionals to... Some said, Maiyegun, tell yourself the truth. I read that in the comments. Some of the Maiyegun, just let's say the truth. We don't need traditional institution anymore. I'm not saying that too. But these people have made us realize that would we need them anymore? Indeed, in this 21st century, are we going to actually really need them? Anyway, people will decide by us telling them that referendum is not war. If the likes of Ooni of Ife, Alaafin of Oyo, and so many other royal fathers from that axis, especially where we know an established Fulani terrorism happening now, where we have seen it. If they can just come out and just say it the way it is, like say the truth. Somebody said, Maiyegun, do you know that if to say Yorubas are real, what Oloye Sunday Igboho is fighting for, Iba Gani Adams, Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, should be the one doing this. Again, I have said that one day we are going to bring Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò here. If he accepts my invitation, very good, so that he can come and answer you. Because in our history, Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò is the, what do they call them in the military? Because I'm not so vast in that, by the way. Please help me. I'm going to read the comments. What do you call the general who actually lead the army to war? The person that always coordinates war to, you know what I mean? What do they call them? Tell me. I know, say me, I'm Maiyegun general. Or my own kind of war. Now microphone war. Sorry. We all choose our trade. I am not Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, but you know that if you are a general, what do they call them? Field marshal. Somebody said field marshal. Somebody just general commander. Balogun, no, Balogun is different to Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò is bigger. It's like Balogun. See, Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò is the one that will assemble all the Balogun. The Baloguns are the generals. So I want you to give me something better. The Baloguns in Yoruba land, once we want to go to war, Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò is the one. Alaafin Oyo, that one will give the command for war. And he will authorize the Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò to go to war. Now, Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò will now go to the communities where you have the Baloguns. The Baloguns will assemble their own small army from their communities. And they will lead all of them to a meeting point where Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò, on his own horse and his own chiefs, with their swords, they will be waiting. So all the communities will be led by Balogun. So you can't call him Balogun. Somebody said like the defense minister. Maybe that is fair. Let's use defense minister. He is in charge of security. He knows about the inner nitty-gritty of the Yoruba land. So when they say enemies are at this point, Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò is the one that will draw the map, that will draw the strategy, how they are going to fight them, from which flank, from what flank, from which side, and on, or what type of war. You know what I'm talking about? So some said, Maiyegun, is it not Ààrẹ Ọ̀nà Kakanfò that should be doing this for us instead of Sunday Igboho? Why did they sacrifice him? Why did they want to kill him? These are the questions that we ask without insulting them. We don't have to insult them. I mean, like, we don't have to. We can still talk, just like I'm doing right now, asking questions, so that you don't feel like, you know, if they want to be revered and respected, regarded, consulted before anything is done, then they also have to give something back. I respect Iba Gani Adams, by the way, a lot. I believe that all this conflict of interest, conflict of this and that can be managed if everybody actually understands their roles as elders. And that is why I won't join those who are really fed up with them. There are many of you who are really fed up with them. I know. But guess what? It is not about those individuals. It is about this tool that they represent. If the individuals are allowed to project their personal interest on that tool will represent their personal interest. So I'm using this opportunity to say, asking them questions, maybe that's what we should do. If they want to be consulted, we are asking now. There are things that, okay, you, all of you, young people, they say, waiting the elders see when they sit down. They say, if all of us, if we climb Kilimanjaro we can never see what an elder see sitting down. But we discovered that na bobo ni. You will know what I'm talking about. Na Sakama and J. That was Sakama and J. In your stone, Lamania. Oh, na bobo. Because you know why? I mean, no disrespect, by the way. I don't mean to disrespect you. Sitting down, that parable used to make sense because people didn't ask questions. But sitting down is not actually like sitting down to do something. What they are saying is that the silence of elders is because of what they can see or sense. So they don't leap before they look. So they look before they leap. Which means the elders are so sure and confident of studying situation, and they can know where it's going to end. In Yoruba, they call it Tomo kekere ban geginigbo, ton geginigbo. Awon agbalagba mo bi to ma wo si. That means if a child is cutting down a tree, hacking a tree, by the time before the tree falls, the elders know where it's going to fall into. All those things as Zakama and J. Zakama and J. Eyon to lamania. Bobo. You know what it's called? Bobo. Luri ro. And I'll tell you why. We have a lot of elders in Yoruba land. Some of them, without standing up true, they saw what will happen today, but they don't have the voice to warn us. Like the charlatans who pretend to know, to see the future. And I ask, how many of them saw the future that Yorubas are going to be paying ransom to Fulani terrorists in 2021, 20 years ago? How many of them? Say, hey, you see this democracy that you are going into? All of you, use these young people. Waiting with the see for future is just to, you are all going to end up inside Fulani terrorist hands. You better begin to ask for Yoruba nation so that by 20 years' time, instead of being in Fulani terrorist hands, you will be in your own country. Some said they saw it, but agreed no let them talk on. What I'm trying to say here is this. The reason why people tell you never to question the elders is because most of the time, the conversation, the topic, what you are talking about, you see those elders, they have no clue too. But they have learned the act of being quiet and everything coming to them. Do you understand what I'm saying? Most of them are ignorant of many things. They are just students of experience. As they say, the more you live, the more you learn. Right? But that doesn't mean that it's going to make you smart. No. It should, but doesn't mean it would. So they have learned the art of waiting. Orotaniki baba magbo. Baba no lo ma pada pari. So they hide some of their ignorance and their effort of knowing too. Since they never wanted to know when they were young, so they learned the art of waiting. You all will bring it, all of you, everything where you they cook inside. All of you, whether you are talking there, by the time the thing you are cooking inside blown up, you will bring it to the elders to come and settle it. That's how the elders will now know that, for like, you de pakurmo kunle, you see the collabo that person, what are you turning this whole world into? When we were younger like you, we don't even know the color of the skirt of our women. Then when you leave, then they say, hey, Ajadi, aye you mati bajeke. Oh, that's how they get to know. So the next time when they want to talk to another young people, they say, listen, we have been alive for so long. You, these children, you have no idea. You see all these things that you, all of you, you will be sleeping with this, you will be meeting with that, you will be doing all these things. You say, Baba, how you take no? He said, I am an elder. What I see, where I sit down here, all of you jumping about, going everywhere, you can never see it. That was where the parable of when the elders sit, wherever the elders see, sitting down, even if you climb, you won't see it. It's because they learn the art of being out of waiting, silence, since they won't say it. Yeah? You know this common saying that sometimes it's good to keep quiet and let people think you are intelligent than to open your mouth and talk. And everybody, and then you just destroy the doubt. Everybody just, hey, wait, this man say have no get sense, sha. And I didn't say get sense, so you get what I mean? It's all same. Nasakama J. So now back to the real thing. The elders who thought they saw that Buhari was going to kill and attempt to kill Sunday Igboho, what did they do? They decided to just wait as usual so that we can bring it back to the elders. And they can say, tell me, how you enter that forest itself? How many people you saw when you went to that forest? Baba, when we got to that forest, when we saw these 10 people coming, we opened fire. I said, really? That was like when Ogbori Elemosho was fighting Ogbori Oro in 1820. Really? Tell me about it. Tell me. Because they believe you will bring it back to them. So they will now be the ones to make peace. And they will now say, President Buhari, our children are here. You see all these children that you are scared of? They are here with me. I have Olugbon, I have Agberu, I have Ajero, Ajano, you know that kind of thing. It makes them important. So is that what they did to Oloye Sunday Igboho? Àgbàlagbà wà lọ́jà, wọ́n jẹ́ kí orí ọmọ tuntun wọ́. Is that what they did? Anyway, I still respect that stool they represent, and we say everything they are telling you that they are going to do to us. Now they sit down now. Ooni of Ife, Aláàfin Ọ̀yọ́, Aláké Ẹ̀gbá, Ṣọ̀ún Ògbómọ̀ṣọ́, Ọba Lagun, Akeolu of Èkó, Oba of Benin, Epos, okay. Awujale Jebu, that man is old now. Baba is very old. But what I'm trying to say here is that all of una, waiting una the year say Buhari will do to us. Just tell us so that we can get ready. So that you don't say we insulted you. That's why you allow them to kill us. So that you can then forgive us after we are dead. For insulting you or disagreeing with you or for disobeying you. Can you tell us what Buhari will do to us? Because we have an idea, by the way. Unfortunately, waiting Buhari won't do all of us. It's not sparing you too. They have kidnapped Baba in Yoruba land. Kabiesi, Alashe Ikeji Orisha, trekking with Fulani inside forest. Baba, they carry sonda, they carry keg of water, they follow Fulani, while the rest of the communities are raising money to pay ransom. Kabiesi, I'm not joking. So waiting Buhari has for us will affect all of us. It's just a matter of time. When my friends say, they will say, Maiyegun, no, tell them, Maiyegun, gbogbo wa la ma jẹ breakfast nígbà tí gbẹ̀du yẹn bá wọra tán. We are going to the World War III. But one of the useless elders, Layamo, just told us that if they don't do anything about social media, now World War III will they go so? But wait, Kabiesi.
Oh, gbogbo ala ma jẹ breakfast. Àsìkò tó ní kálukú máa jẹ tiẹ̀ ọ̀tọ̀ọ̀tọ̀ ni. Sumobilai.
Lazilawa. Sumobilai. Lazilawa. Share this broadcast if you haven't. Like that video if you haven't as well. I've got over 2,000 of my friends on YouTube right now. And I think I've got about 1,000 there or so on Facebook as well. So if you will take your time to just like the video, share it if you haven't, and we can continue. Laya Muhammad said that the reason why they have succeeded, the reason why they have succeeded in reducing the detention that was going to lead to World War III was that they banned Twitter, and they are trying to regulate social media because fake news is going to cause World War III from Nigeria. Whatever that means. Is the same empty Pangolo Layamo, the one that stole 100 million naira they gave to him to donate to the governorship candidate of his party. Now that one is asking him for the money. Layamo is not giving the money. A criminal, a career, a career hopeless old man who can say anything and will say everything as long as he is going to get his alert from the same jihadist is supporting. And listen to this, right? Laya Mohammed said they shut down internet, they shut down Twitter, and they will continue to do that to regulate the social media so that fake news will not cause World War III. But here is where his fantasy is coming from. For the first time, Buhari's government, they felt like they lost total control and they've completely lost it to the IPOB when it comes to the social media war. You see, APC, they came to power through propaganda, through lies, unsubstantiated accusations that eventually were never proved or anything. Now, since they came to power and they said, you can win election by lying. You can win election by propaganda. But you can't actually rule a country by propaganda only. You have to put in some works. That is what they failed to do, right? They said they were coming to, they were coming to revive the economy. They were coming to stop Boko Haram, and they were coming to stop corruption. Layamo, the Wirik, actually rose up one day, and he said he wanted to turn NTA to CNN, so that people can see NTA in Nigeria like CNN. And they said that how much? They said they want to go and borrow money in China. The Were man put in $500 million to turn around NTA. They borrowed the money from China. They give them peanuts. The people will get the money, share the money. And Layamo turned to a normal blogger when he's so bored. He was bored a few days ago, and he decided to say, oh, don't call the terrorists, Fulani terrorists, don't call them terrorists. They are just simple criminals. Simple criminals because they don't have flags and they are not trying to break Nigeria. They just kidnap people and collect money. That's simple. You get what I mean now? Because he's bored. He's as useless as the fake Pastor Ruga Ikene Shatabandu that will come back and talk to you about unity, peace, unity, progress, this and that. Things that are pretty much completely lost in the lifestyle and existence of this criminal government. But they don't care because what happened was when they now gained that power, continue to fire propaganda, and if that propaganda continue to fire back at them, right? IPOB took over the media space where Buhari and their gang and the millions and billions they are budgeting for media every year couldn't sway people from asking that who is that person inside House of Rock, and also couldn't stop them, including their media, from letting the world know the atrocities being committed in Biafra land. They did everything to silence. They did everything to cover that up. Until one day, when Buhari threatened the Igbos, threatened the Biafrans, and called them dot in a circle, and he said he was going to repeat what happened in 1967 to 1970 again, because if they have not learned their lesson, then Twitter deleted that tweet. That was what triggered this whole madness. You deleted tweet of Buhari. How dare you? Do you know who Buhari is? Are you mad? Are you crazy? They ran mad. They didn't care that Buhari is just one person on Twitter. There are other millions of Nigerians who are using Twitter to run their own businesses. But in the book of Laya Muhammad, where they are building economy for young people, if you have a laptop, you are a Yahoo boy, you are a fraudster, you are an internet fraudster. That's who you are in their book. So using Twitter to make money or to market yourself or market your businesses and all of that is indirect. Yahoo, Yahoo. That is what they told the Buhari idiots, the Buhari dins, Buhari degenerates. People lost jobs, people lost gigs, people lost contracts, people lost a lot of things. But Tobokwari, Tobokwari and Layamo, it is about World War III. Because according to them, if Nigerians can make a Twitter to delete Bokwari's tweets, that's World War III. Oh. World War III is coming, because according to them, social media and fake news is what we call a World War III. Not because the Fulanis are chasing people out of their communities, shooting and killing innocent women and children, burning down their properties and all that. That will not, cause World War III. Something that is already a civil war that is now making many Nigerians living as refugees in different places. Not east alone, not east of Nigeria. They have 2 million refugees. Northeast of Nigeria, 2 million refugees who are currently outside Nigeria. Not talking about the refugees who are within those states. That's already a civil war that is probably will be likened to World War. Right? Let me read this back to you. This happened in June and is a report. Let me see if I can share that with you as usual. Again, my friends on YouTube, if you haven't really subscribed on Maiyegun's Diary Politico, I love to remind you, do it. Because most of the time people come in and say, oh, Maiyegun, I haven't seen you. I haven't heard from you. I didn't receive notification for some times now. Check that notification and see if you are still actually subscribing. You still subscribed, and then set your notification, okay? Take a moment and give that thumb up under that video. I managed to get, on my YouTube channel, by the way, I managed to get so far 7 thumbs down. Thank you to those who managed to do that. We call it engagement. That means 7 people are really, really not happy with whatever Maiyegun is doing. But if you go on that same YouTube now, you have over 2,000 people watching, right? And you have over just 700 people who feel like, Maiyegun, thank you. You can do better. So you can do that in a minute. Just before we continue, I'm going to be back in a minute, if you don't mind. Who is a corruption? Pantami is a terrorist. I want to read this back to you because this happened, and then if Ooni of Ife think this doesn't really matter, we should remind them that they do matter, especially the way the attacks were coordinated and how they happened. I'm going to read this back to you. Trust me. Yeah. Talking about how Wakili got caught. So the attacks that you saw at Abolongo, the one we witnessed, according to eyewitnesses, said the attack in Oyo last night from Ogbomosho axis was a well-coordinated Fulani attack aimed at securing the release of Wakili. The terrorist whom Sunday Igboho drove away from Ibarapa. I am informed by my staff and very reliable people that it was the object of that attack last night at about 10 p.m. One of the top sources, well, the rest was just drama. My security staff told me the gunmen struck 3 days ago on the Oyo-Ogbomosho road. And around that time, their strange faces were also seen around, strange faces were also seen around an area the boys described to me. This was a well-coordinated attack with the objective to free Wakili and other Fulani inmates. Oyo State government is yet to come back to tell us exactly who was that special inmate that was broken out of Abolongo Correctional Facility. We are still waiting for them. So in Anambra, they have taken their madness to another level, guys. I have told you, even though earlier today, I think it was yesterday, the League of Igbo Governors, they decided to join the Northern, they call them Northern People's Congress or something like that. So these are the people who are now saying they have approached the court. The court should compel Nigeria to allow Biafrans to conduct a referendum and leave Nigeria. Now, in that case, the League of Igbo Lawyers, they have also registered their interest in that case to ensure that there is actually a court judgment, a legal precedent that is going to ask Nigeria to conduct a referendum for the Biafrans. Listen, some of you may be like, how is that going to be? Maiyegun, we don't trust them. You don't have to trust them, okay? People have been saying that why can't anyone just go to court? Get a court judgment until somebody will probably appeal their judgment and say Yorubas no longer want to be part of Nigeria. Do you get what I mean now? And the court will say Nigeria should conduct a referendum for Yoruba land. Now, if we are still waiting for our own Yoruba think tanks to get to that level and all of that, the Biafrans are already tapping into it too. Today, we received a report that United Nations has written to Kenya and Nigeria for them to explain some things on how they kidnapped Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya and denied him his human rights. He was tortured, he was beaten, he was doing all of that. Now, the Biafrans have done a lot in that regard. So if you wake up tomorrow and a court says Nigeria should go and conduct a referendum for the Biafrans, that is the legal loophole that we all need to let all the legal team who are listening to me right now, who actually understand what I mean by this. Because there could be any judgment anytime. If any judgment comes, latch on it, expand it. When they appeal, put up the best legal team. As you are watching this video, I also received the report that another group, the Niger Delta group or so, I can't remember the full name, they have already started delivering charter for independence of the people of Niger Delta. Maybe some of you don't know, and please don't call it a joke. Okay, don't call it a joke. You see all these moves, right? They are all precursors. They are all steps, components that will make up the journey to that referendum, to that breakup, as peaceful as many of you will probably want it to be as well. They mean something. There must be legal precedents. There must be something that are attached and call and compel the Nigerian government to do something. It's not because they will do it, but they are good legal precedents that can be latched on, that can be built on and established. Because you see, when I read about this Niger Delta group, who are also asking for the independence of the Niger Delta from Nigeria, they don't want to be part of Biafra. They said, fine, all right, but let's respect that for a minute and respect that as well, right? They put up a charter. Different communities now, they are receiving that charter. The charter of independence and referendum and independence from Nigeria. The charter on how to control their resources 100%. Independence Niger Delta region, right? Now, this charter are now being delivered in different communities as you speak. It may not have made deadlines to your own face. You may not read any meaning to it, but I read a lot of meaning to it. Those are the legal precedents I'm talking about. If we, the Yorubas, put together our own charter, article of independence, and we send all this charter to all communities in Yoruba land, and we have courageous people, traditional rulers, who are going to call public gathering, and they will read that charter to the people. They will print copies of that charter. Then people will begin to talk about, oh boy, it be like say if we get independence from these people, it be like say we can have a Yoruba nation. This whole thing, like having the Biafrans getting a judgment anytime that says Nigeria must conduct referendum for them, is going to be a big win. And maybe not until it becomes public. Some of you may not know about it. I've just told you now. If any court judgment come from anywhere and they say Nigeria must conduct referendum, that is a legal precedence. That's something people can build on. That will become something that will end up as the negotiation tool. Because they can't wish it away. No, it can't. It may end up in the Supreme Court. And if it should end up in the Supreme Court, yeah, I know. There is tanko technicality there. Okay? There are other people there. But they're not going to be there forever. Trust me, a lot of things are going to drag away from this whole madness that is going on. But you see all these things that people are putting down. If you get to the Supreme Court and a shocker happen, and they say, yes, Biafrans have the right to ask for referendum, and they have the right to leave Nigeria. Bam! That's it. Those who call them criminals, those who call them touts, those who call them this and that, all these agberu, all these articulated morons, articulated mugus, all these PDP criminals who are blackmailing them now, I am giving you a bit of an head start. If you wake up tomorrow and a judgment come from that night, because you won't believe it. It was in that same Nigerian court where they used, in that same Nigerian court that Oloye Sunday Igboho received a favorable judgment that found Nigerian DSS, the Oda Secret Service, Malamu, Bokwari, and the rest of them guilty of trying to kill Oloye Sunday Igboho. And for what they did, the court said you will have to, they awarded 20 billion naira, I've been told. Nigeria cannot pay that money. You know that, Abi? But there's a legal precedence there. If you are picked up, harassed, even in their court, you can still beat them there. And that's what it means, like taking the fight to them. People have said, if you don't release Nnamdi Kanu, there will be no election in Anambra. We are not going to participate in that election. But nobody is talking about, hey, it's true. Oh yeah, now release Nnamdi Kanu now. Free him now. But they will turn around and say, Nnamdi Kanu deserves to be where he is. And all of you talking this, talking that, you are supposed to be shot at. Anambra election. They have 38,000 police they are sending to Anambra. 38,000. On top waiting. On top the election to further impoverish the people. Then give the ballot paper to all your policemen to vote now. 38,000. Ask them how many numbers of security have they sent to Niger, where the terrorists walked into a mosque 2 days ago or yesterday. They walked into a mosque and they killed 18 people. No arrest, no nothing. They burned down properties. There is no 10,000 security sent to Niger. There is no 10,000 security sent to Zamfara. There is no 10,000 sent to Katsina. In Katsina State yesterday, they killed, same thing, they killed over 20 people. In, what do you call it? Goroyo in Sokoto, few days ago, they killed over 100 people in the market. There is no 10,000 delegate to Sokoto to go and find those killers. But they are sending 38,000 to Anambra to go and conduct election. And all of you think blackmailing IPOB members when they say, we'll not participate, we're not going to be part of it. There's no election. We don't see any election. There's no releasing Nnamdi Kanu. So blackmailing them will make you feel better. Do your election. Don't blame them when you kill yourselves. That's because you kill yourselves anyway. You'll not go snatch your ballot box. Let me remind you something, guys. The reason why you should never fall into any blackmailing of IPOB. Don't fall into it. Oh. The reason is this. In 2017, when they did the same thing, and they tried to kill Nnamdi Kanu, kill 28 people, they were doing it because IPOB said it is Biafra or no election in Anambra. Right? When they did all of that, before that election, people said, because you tried to kill Nnamdi Kanu, there will be no election, there will be no election, there will be no election. Guys, you know what they did? They started blaming IPOB. If APC capture Anambra, now IPOB Kosam. If APC, last, Abga won the election, landslide. Do you know why they are so scared now? In 2017, Obaino was still using the grace of Ojuku Party, Ojuku this, Ojuku Party, Abga. And there was never really any coordinated attempt to take over Anambra like now. Because they now know that they don't need the election to declare anybody winner in Nigeria. All they need is just to put up a charade that looks like a sham, that looks like an election, okay? And announce anybody. In 2017, when IPOB said, we are sitting at home, we are not participating in any election, those who still went to participate, those who were waiting to blame IPOB for losing Anambra to APC, they kept quiet since then because Abga won. But you see one thing now is that PDP, these PDP rats, these jobless, hopeless boys everywhere, blackmailing you on social media, blackmailing you on Twitter, these intellectuals that you see everywhere, trying to blackmail you. This is the season. Some of them have signed pacts with the devil, articulated morons, and the articulators, we call them. Many of them they are looking beyond Abga, an opportunity of PDP. But if APC should get it, that will dampen their own dream of working as influencers from Anambra, influencers from Biafra land, working for Atifku, working for APC. So if you should let that happen, you are going to spoil business. But trust me, you are not spoiling any business. They are already in soup. Don't participate in their election if you don't want to. And don't blame yourself for it. In 2017, you did not participate in their election. They declare Abga winner. Nobody came back to you to say, oh, see, we have elected Abga. Don't let anybody blackmail you emotionally about Anambra. They already have what they want to do there. They have already permutated and finished everything. And it is not your job. It is not your business to convince anybody that releasing Nnamdi Kanu is going to douse tension. And if they care, they will ask for his release, unconditional release. But when you look at them, you realize that they don't really care. They come to attack you, to demoralize you, to blackmail you, and blame you for everything. But in the next few days, they are going to forget ever talking about you. Trust me. Or you know what? Focus. You focus. You stay on. Eyes on the ball. Eyes on the goal. You see these charlatans, once what they pay them expires, they call you different names today. They sound like they are intelligent than you. They are actually dumber than you can think of. Any man whose thoughts and their reasoning is controlled by his belly, or any woman that our thought or thinking controls, is controlled by our belly, should never call you a name that you should believe in. All right? When the money they give to them expires, when the hope of what they want to get doesn't come or finally comes, they will forget about you. Okay? But keep the eyes on the ball. And finally, make all of you stop attacking EPA. I mean this. Whatever the division you think you have you think it exists within IPOB. I have done my own study. Some of these divisions exist in the imagination of many of you. And that is why you are projecting this on the rest of yourselves. Save Ekpa. Protect him. You don't have to agree with him. You don't even have to agree with his style. Many people didn't agree with the style of Nnamdi Kanu. Some of you didn't even agree with him from the start. But the fact that you have somebody out there who is doing everything to keep you in that news, and somehow, the effect of that is being felt, even if you don't agree with him. Protect him. You are going to miss him when you no longer have somebody like that. And I mean it. Don't come back to regret it. Protect Ekpa. Protect Simon. And Simon, if we ever get this message, yourself, maybe you never choose to be this. And I actually think you never choose to be this. The circumstances and the change of event put this on you. Begin to know that every word you say, everything you post out there, everything you say out there is being scrutinized by people who are so shocked with your emergence. You've done so well. Don't let them ruffle you too much to the point that you are playing into their hands. Every word you say, everything you post, there are people scrutinizing them. Face the goal too. And I won't say more than that. The reason why I said this is because I have seen so much progress. I've seen so much things you can touch, something real that you can say, if everybody pay attention very well, you will see the progress being made by the Biafrans, the IPOB, the Yoruba agitators, and every one of us all over the globe and everywhere. You may not be able to kind of, agree with the results so far, but trust me, without all these advocacies, without all these platforms and presence, right? Laya Muhammad will probably have been receiving an award somewhere because they believe he just saved the whole world from World War III in his imagination. Bond together. That is the threat they don't want to see. Stay together. Defend yourselves. Protect yourselves. I mean, we've only got ourselves anyway. We've only got one another. So, and we've only got this moment. Until that time comes that we can say, so, you're such a good or a jolly good fellow. Or you are a comrade where we can meet at the trenches and we can say, well done. I'd love to see that. I mean, I know we won't get there if we stay divided. We know things. What we are trying to work on now is the unity that we have built so far. Don't tear yourselves apart. These guys don't mean well. And for what we know, it is never over until it's over, they say. So I've sent my message today, and I hope you digest it. What we want to see is that those who stand to protect and defend us are stood by and they are protected too, sacrificing the best of us because of the pecuniary, momentary gain from those who never really meant well for us. Should stop. The traditionals too, the politicals too, everybody trying to play political correctness today. You should know one thing. When the old ceiling comes crashing, it won't spare anyone. And you actually get hit most. The poor who are already victims. Some of them are already adjusting, learning how to live with this. But some of you, from your own eye tower, penthouses, where you have opinions on how we should react to killers, kidnappers, and on, unity begging, telling us and indirectly agreeing with criminals who brought us to this level, that Nigeria is non-negotiable. It's not just an insult on us. It is a total condemnation of what we are and who we are. The strong-willed, determined, and prosperous people. So if you don't see it as a clarion call now, well, you're going to be around for a while. And when they come for you, we'll ask you, who do you think should stand for you? Who are those that should defend you? Because when you sacrifice them and you watch them killed, who will stand and defend that kingdom that some of you probably cherish so much that you believe that you are doing us a favor for wearing the crown? I just thought I should ask. Thank you so much for your time tonight, okay? I'm going to round it up now. Prayer docent, thank you. Maiyegun, well done. Okuishe takun takun.
We are proud of you. Keep up delivering truth with humor and levity. Thank you very much for spending your time with me over there, dear sister. And God bless you for your super chat and sticker. Again, I got another one from Sylvia. Hello. Thank you so much, Sylvia. Maiyegun General, God bless you too much. Please keep hammering on the intellectuals. This is a problem with the South, selling out brothers, selling out our brothers and sisters. Well, it didn't start today, but you and I can stop it. It is a mentality of easy and immediate gratification without considering the aftermath, the consequences. We can liberate minds. And when we have more people who now see that it's actually wrong, don't think you are doing us a favor by selling us out. Don't think you are doing us a favor by discouraging us from standing for what we know will benefit all. And if you don't see it that way, I mean, come on, do not contribute to those, contribute into killing those who want us and want better for us. We want to stay alive. We want to be alive. We don't want to be sacrificed, in this whole thing. And we don't want to die in silence. So if you have a chance of parading yourselves as our leaders, as a traditional leader, you don't want to be insulted, you don't want to be abused and the rest of that. I mean, come on. The least we can do is to abuse you, Abi. And abusing you is even better. Imagine somebody who lost their family member, breadwinner, all that. And all they can say is, and you feel offended about that. How about you actually take it serious and prevent it from happening again? Never let that happen again. But again, we'll continue to say it. We're not fighting them. We know the stool they represent. If they indeed put that into test, we know the reality of Nigeria today doesn't really give them much power. But can they please stop validating those who want to kill us or those who are killing us? Can they please just stop doing that? If they are too scared to speak for us, can they just stop speaking at all? Thank you so much, Yomi. If the Obas don't get themselves together now, they will be forgotten. Just like the Fulanis are trying to destroy our history. They have the leverage now, or they won't be respected again. Absolutely. The effort that Oloye Sunday Igboho is fighting for, like I explained earlier, remember, he is fighting to keep our history, to keep our heritage, so that you don't end up writing the Yoruba history and they will be saying Yoruba Fulanis, who actually killed our people to take over their land, chase them out of their villages, and they rewrite the history to include them in our history. Come on, man. You know what I'm talking about? When they do that, would any Yoruba Oba come and tell any Yoruba son and daughter in the future and read this history and say the Fulani terrorists were part of the Yoruba culture because they fought war and they won those land? That's what we are trying to say. And nobody should try to blackmail us. Nobody should try to, in any way, sweet talk us. Nobody should try to cajole us or make us think that going for one presidency in 2023 is actually the best. Somebody fighting to keep the history, keep us together. I mean, not for their sake, not for his own sake, but for the sake of our own children, our children. Imagine if those before us have allowed them to kill them and chase them away. Maybe I will never come from Ijebu. My own parents probably will never come from. My father will never probably come from Ijebu. My mother will never come from Odogbolu. Maybe she would not even be a Yoruba or an Ijebu woman. Maybe you know what I'm talking about. Maybe my birth will never even have happened if those before us have allowed those who are now telling us to keep quiet. If those before them actually told those before them, those then that to keep quiet rather than fight and protect us. They don't have a clue. Because of the momentary gain that they're going to get. But we won't stop talking. So if Ooni see this, Kabiyesi will appreciate it. If you at least can stop going to that Aso Rock. Your going there doesn't show that it's actually in the interest of the Yoruba people. You can't even tell that person there about what we are going through. And you can't bring any message back to say you did that. Stop going there. And if you can do us a favor, if you know you cannot really talk to defend and speak for the Yoruba without sounding politically correct, without trying to tell us to calm down, without trying to tell us blah, 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 and all those stuff that you always said, and many of you do, and then you wait because we are not going to listen, then you wait for the Fulani government of Nigeria to hunt us down and sometimes kill us so that you can turn around and say, You warned us. If you can please stop talking, we are going to appreciate it a lot, including Alaafin of Oyo. If you have to say anything, can you please just not talk about the Yoruba nation? Just talk about your business with them. Talk about your contract. Talk about every other thing that you talk and you fancy. And don't tell us about them. I'm saying this because the insult is kind of unbearable for Ooni of Ife to say he forgive Oluye Sunday Igboho for not listening to him, not to go after the Fulani terrorists, and he's forgiving him. It's demeaning. And if we really have to really react, trust me, people have said worse. I hope Ooni will listen to this. And I don't even, if it's not going to listen to it, I hope some of you will actually pass it across to him. So my friends, we spent enough time tonight. We will take calls tomorrow, by the way. I'm going to see you again tomorrow. Stay safe. Share the video. And I will see you again. So I have 12 people who gave me thumb down. Can you, the 2,000 of you who are currently on YouTube decide to just give that thumb up now? Like that video. I have 12 people who said they don't agree with this, which is great. And I would love to see them next time. You know what I'm talking about. Until then, stay safe and good night to all of you.
Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́ Maiyegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ Maiyegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o Maiyegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ Maiyegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí bá Maiyegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o Maiyegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú Maiyegun máa bí. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀ Súnrakì Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súnrakì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀. Ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o, ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ Súnrakì. ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́run sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lé ibo níṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sì mọ́ bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀gọ̀ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí abínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ fòyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkan ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹ̀yin bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lúwẹ̀ túnra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.